Greetings all, welcome to The Hardest Word with me, your host, Brett DeHoot.
I have done with you. I don't deserve it.
I'm terribly sorry.
Sorry, Graham.
Over the course of the show, some of the most, impactful apologies have been people who are apologising to themselves. The apologies seem to come out of a period of reflection and a clear-headed analysis of where they've gone wrong, perhaps, or what they would have done differently and how it's impacted their lives. Gina Johnson from Canada has lived a very full life, and she's been reflecting on it, and she has recorded this very thoughtful apology.
I grew up on the outskirts of a town called Prince George in Canada, on a small farm. Until I began school, and during the summers, my only friends were animals and my mom. When I began school, I was wise, but didn't have the social skills to survive, and was made fun of and excluded from the groups of kids. Shortly after starting high school, my parents broke up, and we moved to the city near Vancouver. The new me was popular, drank alcohol, smoked cigarettes, and had very few boundaries. Life was fun, but there was a little voice inside of me that was as persistent as the Lorax, whispering that I was selling myself out. My grades declined, and when my teachers or my parents tried to talk to me, I blew them off. At 15 years old, I fell in love with someone that didn't love me. Despite concerns from my family and friends, I chased dreams and moved out of home at 18 years old. Shortly after, I dropped out of college, started a family, and got married. In 5 short years, the dreams died, and we went through a divorce. That little voice came back and began guiding and directing me. I wasn't able to see how listening would help my despair, and I silenced it with vices again. I jumped into a relationship straight away, despite warning from both of our families. The wake-up came when I was 34 years old and had a heart attack. I lost my career, my friends, and shortly after was left with only my toddler and a newly diagnosed heart condition. I spent 5 years learning to know myself and became the person that God made me to be. My life coach helped me discover my values, and I apologized to the people that I had hurt in my past. In a seminar, I was asked the question, "Have you ever apologized to yourself?" In tears, I confessed that I couldn't and didn't deserve forgiveness. At this point in my life, I had become a Christian, and despite being told that we all deserved grace, I was not able to find it. I had forgiven everyone that hurt me, and it was easier than forgiving myself. Through tears, journaling, counseling, and praying, I made the decision to forgive myself. An apology cannot repair the damage that has been done. It can only bring change. I am sorry that I didn't listen to what I knew was right. I'm sorry that I lived with a victim mindset, turned hatred inside, and put myself down for many years. I'm sorry that I smoked and drank and starved my body to try and fit in with the people that I thought mattered most. For the spiral of negative thoughts, the beating I took telling myself that I was not good enough, pretty enough, or lovable enough that drove me to be sick. I'm sorry that I blamed my own heart for failing. I am grateful that despite the anger and neglect that you still guide me, still have faith in me to do the right thing. I'm grateful that my heart is now full of joy, full of love, and that instead of trying to bring people down, I now lift them up. I pray that my story shows others that if I am worthy of forgiveness, they are too. From this day on, I dedicate my life to living out my purpose and taking care of myself and those whose lives I have the opportunity to be a part of.
Thanks, Gina. I trust that will be the last apology you will ever owe to yourself. It's time to bring this whole sorry business to a close. On behalf of our audio director, Brian Wallace, and me, your host, Brett DeHoot, thanks for listening. The website, thehardestwordpodcast.com. Farewell.